Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get your day. Life is going to get better once your perception gets better. If you change the way you see things, things will begin to change, in the words of Dr. Wayne Dyer. So, earlier I was uploading tons of videos, and my intuition was telling me to read this book. Okay, Psycho Cybernetics. I have been speaking about this book for weeks now. Okay, about Maxwell Maltz, who was a surgeon, and he's seen that we have two self images. Okay, one of the things I'm gonna say is this: is the misinformation that you have why you are getting the results that you get. Okay. If you feel that you are stupid, okay, you won't pick up the books. If you feel like you are slow, you won't do the things that you need to do in order for you to live the life that you truly desire. Why? Because it's the programming. It's what we constantly tell ourselves when no one is around. In the words of James Allen, as a man thinketh, one of the things he says is our world is our looking glass. Okay? Is what man tells himself when no one is around. And we receive those things based upon how we view ourselves. I'm gonna give you guys a story, and then I'm gonna do a regular video in a few minutes after this one. I remember, so some of you guys may know my story, but if you don't know, my name is Nina Bryant. I do these inspirational videos so we can shift our mindset, we can change the way we think of things, and we can receive our truest desires. I remember when I was in the 6th grade, I had dropped out of school. Everything that we tend to do, it is because of genetics, and it's also because of our environment. And shout out to my amazing mentor, Bob Proctor, because I never knew this. You see, I was going through life thinking that I was sentenced to a certain lifestyle. I didn't understand that I had the power and the ability to change my life by changing my thinking. And how could I have known that? If I wasn't taught that, you wouldn't know it. And so I'm gonna give you guys just an overview, okay? Just in case there's new people on here. When I was 2018, okay, I had my spiritual awakening. And prior to that, I got to a place where as though I just wanted different in my life. I didn't know how I was going to receive the different. I just knew it was a innate within me knowing this. I did not come here for this. I did not come here to work and pay bills. I did not come here to do the same exact thing, work 5 days out of the week, get paid on Fridays every 2 weeks, and then buy clothes and go party. I knew I did not come for that. And our spirit, our higher selves, are always giving us hints, is always giving us downloads. But you have to ask the question, are you paying attention? And so by me putting out into the universe, I will always have my epiphanies when I go in the bathroom. And I would say, I know I didn't come here for this. And that this was feeling like a damn hamster on a hamster wheel, running so fast, but going nowhere. And after I put that out into the ether enough of times of saying, I know I didn't come here for this, We have all heard, if you seek, ye shall find. And so I was seeking. I wasn't blaming anyone for how I was living, how I chose to live. I just felt innate. I did not come for this. And so I had her a video because I had tried everything that you can imagine to change my life. And at times it would get a little better, but then it would go right back to the way it was, what I was accustomed to. And I tried religion. I tried going to psychologists, getting medication for experiencing anxiety. I tried going to therapy. I tried everything outside myself, but I never tried within. Oh, Chad, you better get his speech, girl. You better get his speech, okay? That just came. The downloads be downloading, okay? And I was looking outside myself for the answers, but never for a second did I stop and say, how about you turn within? Because no one ever taught me to turn within. I never heard too many people take accountability for what showed up in their lives. And I remember this one particular day, like many days, I will always be seeking information because I'm a solution oriented type of gal. This one particular day, me and my oldest son, we was driving. And I would get caught off, well, not caught off, but I would be so focused on what was going on in someone else's lives, like the celebrities, oh, this person is really at me. I would get so focused on that as opposed to what was going on in my life. Some of the things you have to understand is things are made for distractions. But if you are so focused on you will buy right past the distractions because you disciplined. And so I remember me and my oldest son, we came across this video with rapper B.O.B. And he basically was talking about metaphysics in a way that I have never heard it. Now, I done took metaphysics when I was in college, okay? In that class, I ain't do too well in. Okay, I gotta see. But this was the first time, okay? Hey, Philip, peace here, baby, peace here, peace here. This was the first time that I had heard someone break metaphysics down in a way that I would be able to understand it. And he talked about Kundalini, chakras, okay? Throat chakra, your heart chakra, is 7 main chakras. But he talked about chakras. He talked about meditation and alchemy. And he also said, you're not going to need anyone outside your existence. You already had this innate ability. And he was talking about spirituality, basically connecting to your higher self. And this was the first time I have ever heard someone say you're not going to need anyone outside your existence. And he talked about meditation, going within. And I said, you know what? I done tried everything, damn near. I done tried the pills. I done tried going to the psychologist. I done tried going to therapy. I done been in relationships, looking for love and all these different things. I done tried all of it. But the one thing I didn't try was going within. And so I meditated. I was so eager. I was so eager for change. I meditated. And as I started meditating, hey, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you. That's my sister, you guys. Okay, Melissa Bryant. You see, we got the same last name, honey. That's my sister. Okay. And I done tried all these different things, but I never tried going within, because we've been programmed that everything that shows up in our lives, it is because the next person. It is never because of our perception of ourselves. And so what happened was, remember how I said I would have these epiphanies when I would go in the bathroom? And I knew that I did not just come here for this. I did not come here just to work and pay bills. I knew I came here for something bigger, better, and grander. But I didn't know what it was. And so, you know what's going to set you free? Knowledge. Applied knowledge also. Understanding. That's what's going to set you free. Also, repetition. It's going to set you free. And so, I started meditating. And I was so eager. You know how you feel like this is it? This is the thing that is going to change my life. This is it. I was so eager. I was so excited about life. You know, because now I see that I have the ability to change my life. I don't no longer have to wait for someone to tell me sorry. I no longer have to wait for the government to change. I no longer have to wait for my ex to say, you know, that they value me. I no longer had to wait for those things. And so every day I showed up. And I remember I was meditating. I just wanted to know what was my purpose. And I didn't even, it wasn't even something like, what's my purpose in a meditation? It was just when I was, and I was meditating right over there where those shoes are. Okay? Where that can of paint is. Meditating right over there. And I remember as I was meditating right over there, I got a download to do videos. To get people out the matrix. I did not know if I heard that or if it was because I had watched The Matrix, okay, a few years ago. But only the thing that I knew was, I'm going to show up. And I started making the videos. And since we are all dope ass creators, you do not have to know exactly how it's going to manifest itself out. You don't need to know the exact plan. When your intuition speaks, that's all you need. And you get started. It's almost as if like you take the ball and you run with it. The misinformation. So from me, you know, doing it, changing the way I was eating, just changing. And this is an ongoing thing, because even things that you may have, or you may feel that, you know, even with eating like meat and stuff like that, you know, I would say, oh, well, can't eat meat because the energy and all this other stuff. And then I started even questioning that belief. So you should always be questioning your beliefs. Always question your beliefs. And not to get off track, but I remember the other day I was listening to Bashar. And Bashar he's really Daryl, but he channels like Abraham Hicks. And he channels a spirit in his body. Okay, well, that's there already. And one of the things this lady had asked him, she said she's been vegan for a long time. But why do she have the urge to eat meat? And when she feel the urge to eat meat, she feels so bad. And one of the things Bashar said was, you have to see why. That's a belief. You have to see about your beliefs. And he said, people say, hey, bad jokes, peace here, baby, peace here, peace here. One of the things he said was, he said, they don't eat meat, but you eat the plants. The plants are alive. The plants are alive too. And so when I heard him say that, it started putting things into perspective. Like, I start looking at it like, oh my goodness. And it's so funny because prior to that, it was a few weeks I was doing a video. And it was a guy who was on here. And I was saying, I don't eat meat and all this other stuff. It don't work for me. And he kept saying, he said, it don't work for you. But he said, that's a belief. And I started getting upset with this guy. And it was so funny afterwards, because, after he said that, I said, well, that's what works for me. If I say I'm going to always do what works for me. And as I was in the shower, I instantly heard my mother say, well, Dina, that's their opinion. If that's what they believe, you can't change someone else's opinion. And I thought about that, and instantly I did another live video. And when I did another live video, the guy came back on. His name was G. And he was like, oh, back for round 2. And I thought it was so funny. I tickled so hard. It was so funny. And I had to ask myself, why? Because that guy said about me. Why you feel upset? Is it perhaps that you want to go and eat meat? That's what I had to start asking myself. Are you upset? Is it because, in fact, you really want to go eat the meat? Not like that. Okay. A lot of times we tend not to do things, or we get upset is because perhaps there's some truth to it. Perhaps Source is using this person to show us that the way that we've been going about things is not right. I remember I was a part of this religion, right? And it was the Nation of Islam. I remember I had a therapist that I was going to see at this particular time. And I would, instead of me expressing how I felt, sometimes I would keep it bottled in. And then what I would turn and do was, I would look up stuff to take me away from my reality. So it was like I became an addict for knowledge, for information. But sometimes you can have the wrong information that's not going to change your situation. And I remember the therapist that I went to, and I just did, just poured everything what I was going on. I poured everything that I was growing through on her. And she looked at me. Now, it's bad if your therapist looks at you and say, Dina, when you get like this, what do you do? And I said, I focus on history. I seek knowledge, information. And she told me, she said, Dina, you know, they have stuff on YouTube, like music, certain frequencies, and you should listen to them. And she said, have you ever meditated before? See, the universe was constantly sending me people to let me know is all within you. Seek within. You know, we get so caught up seeking the kingdom outside of us when the kingdom is really within us because it's programming, because we've been programmed that way. And so what happened was, after she said that, I still didn't meditate, but I got sick and tired to the point of it felt like I couldn't go no further. You get what I'm saying? Like, you ever felt like, damn, if I don't know about the next person, but do you ever question it like, oh well, if I leave New Jersey and then go to New York, then where would I wind up? Like, how could I go further and further and further, right? Or farther, whatever. And I just wanted more. And I started showing up. But this is the interesting thing. As I was so excited about my life, this new and improved Dina, okay, eating clean, meditating, working out, things don't necessarily leave because you don't want to deal with them, or because you trying to put something in a place of that thing. Things don't leave because of that. And so what happened was, after I had my spiritual awakening, even my sister on here, okay, my sister on here, Melissa, okay, I was so ecstatic about life, so excited about life. And I was reprogramming my mind, listening to nothing but the pure, the clean audios, Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. Okay, shout out to Infinite Waters, okay, because he talks about the same exact thing. Positivity. And I remember one day I had took a photo and I was so excited, okay, because it's like, oh my goodness, my life changing, everything is going amazing, my life is just going to be phenomenal. And my sister had went back and told my mama, like, did you see that picture Dina took? So it seemed like something wrong with her, okay? And they didn't understand. I was changing my mindset. It felt like I had a gift. Or not that I had a gift. It felt like, oh my goodness, I know my gift. And I was so excited. And at times, you get so excited, you want to share the gift with everybody. But some people, they may not be ready. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, this is amazing. You know, almost like the book by Vernon Howard, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. Let me go get that book, okay? Let me go get this book. Because I want you guys to get this. If I got to show you every goddamn book I got, okay, I'm willing to do it. This book right here. The Mystic Path, okay, to Cosmic Power. Oh my goodness. My mentor told me about this book by Proctor, okay? This book is one. That book is such a phenomenal read. And it talks about the kingdom too. And like the book says, let me see if I can find it. 1 second, honey. Oh, yes. Yes, honey, as soon as I open the damn page, okay? This page right here. The famous prisoners in the cave allegory of Socrates, as told by Plato, explains man's condition. A number of men are chained in a dark cave. A fire blazes around them, producing fearful shadows. Falsely assuming that the shadows are real, they cringe in terror and hostility. But one prisoner gets tired of it all. Taking courage, he decides to risk all in an attempt to escape. Fighting his way through the darkness, he emerges into the sunlight of the real world. He finds himself a free man. And what happens? If he goes back to tell the others of his wonderful discovery, what if he explains that their agonies result from their illusions, that an entirely new world exists on smug assumptions? Wait, hold on. Exist on the outside. Will they welcome his message? They will not. What? And give up their smug assumptions that they already know what is real, and disturb their ego-centered ways? No. They will scorn and resent him, call him a deluded fool, and remain in their secret despair. What solution does the mystic path offer? There is a way out. This book is so good, okay? And this is how I felt. I felt like I was the prisoner who escaped from the belief systems that I have been programmed to believe, that happiness comes from outside you, free from the illusions of this thing is going to make me happy, this person is going to make me happy. And in all actuality, no one can make you happy, nor could they make you sad. It's all about the energy that we put into things. Remember this, in the words of Bashar, life is meaningless. We give it meaning. And so what happened was, after I had that my spiritual awakening, just became a little more enlightened. And I know nothing about nothing, just my experience. I remember I had heard Infinite Waters Ralph Smart talk about The Alchemist. And I was so eager because the way he talked about The Alchemist, about this shepherd, Diego, okay, and how Diego was seeking a treasure outside himself. And I remember I said, I'm going to get The Alchemist. That was my first book on my spiritual journey. I said, I'm going to get The Alchemist. And I went and I brought The Alchemist. In fact, I brought it twice. And it was so good. And I remember one night I went to sleep. And I shared this story with you guys a few days ago. I went to sleep and I had a dream about all these books. And it was like a complex. You know those tall skyscraper buildings, like those, and they like condos. I had a dream it was two buildings facing one another. And I was in my apartment, and it was this father and son who was like an Indian descent that was in the complex that was across, right, in the next building. And we can see each other. And I seen that this father and son, they had like all these books on this shelf. And the books they had like this cover, like the cloth cover. You remember when you was in school, you had to cover your books, okay? And you could cover them up with some paper, the brown paper, or you could cover them up with the cloth. If you was fancy, you covered them up with the cloth, okay? If you wanted to let people know you had a little money, okay, you covered them up with the cloth, okay? And I seen the books covered and the same as that color of The Alchemist, that orange reddish color. The book cover had like lines on there, like colors, red, orange, on there. And I wanted to know what books it was. And then also in the dream, I dreamt that, it was a cow later on in the dream, like all, and I never thought that I would be purchasing so many books. If you have a self-image that you can't learn, that you are slow or stupid, you may not want to pick up the book. The reason being is because your mindset. Because you think that you're not smart enough. Because you done brought into someone else's opinion. An opinion, not a fact. An opinion. There are trillions of opinions. Not that many facts. And so what happened was I started picking up the books. Because the personal development, the audio that I was listening to, it was the same exact people that was perhaps cast out by society. Same exact people who was told that they wouldn't be anything, that grew up in a certain type of environment, and now we're multimillionaires and we're sharing a story. And so I started doing different. And let me tell you this. If you have a self-image that you don't deserve the finer things in life, you're not going to do it. I remember I had heard, hey, Miss Harden, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you. Yeah. I remember I was walking like I did many days. And I remember I had came across Brian Tracy. And Brian Tracy, he kept talking about goals. And in fact, Jim Rohn too. And although I had heard Brian Tracy say, write your goals down, I just said, oh, that sounds good. And when I could see it so clear, I know exactly where I was at this one particular day when I first heard Brian Tracy say this. I was right on First Street in Bayonne, walking next to the end of Bayonne. Or is it the beginning? Probably the beginning. And I said, oh, that sounds good. And then, but I never did it. And so some days I would have, some weeks it would be better than none, right? Then some day, and I'm talking about me being a content creator. Some weeks it would be up, some weeks it would be down. Self-image. It was the self-image. If I have an image that I am an Uber driver, that I could only make or earn $30,000 a year, what I earn is just a reflection of my self-image. Because everything starts within. It all starts within. And so I would hear the successful people that I would listen to. And they would say, all of that's because your self-image. You know, listening to audios and they say, you are at the job you are at because your self-image. You are where you are because your self-image. You are in that relationship because of your self-image. You live where you live because of your self-image. And I used to say, that ain't true. That ain't true. I do Uber because I like it. I do Uber because it's good. But it's all because of your self-image. And so what I started doing, I never forget, I just had my 7-day water fast, right, that I completed. And I was extremely excited because in that time, I was away from social media. I was away from almost everybody except for my children. And I just connected with my higher self, just meditating, listening to Dr. Miles Monroe about fasting, just, just doing it. And one of my things that I put out into the universe to my higher self, earning $10,000 a month. It's like giving up something. And I remember after my water fast, I had received an email from Peach McIntyre, who's a content creator. And I think on YouTube, she has like 500,000 subscribers. On TikTok, I think is 1 million. And I seen the email. And I said, nah, I ain't doing it. And it was something within me that said, do it. And she was holding a mindset class that was for 5 days. And it was $10. And so I signed up for it. And everything that I heard prior to, it was like it was in this mindset class. And the same exact thing what Brian Tracy said prior when I was walking on First Street and I heard Brian Tracy as I was walking and listening to the audio of him saying, write your goals down. Peach McIntyre said, is a book we read and called No Excuses by Brian Tracy. Now, let me tell you something. If you're a person who believes that there's coincidence in this here universe, I'm here to tell you there's no goddamn coincidence up in this universe. There's no coincidence. And so when I heard and read the book, it was on my laptop. One of the young ladies, she sent the link. And Brian Tracy talked about writing your goals again. And one of the things this time he said, people who say that they want to accomplish certain things, the reason why they don't write goals is because of the ego. And if you don't write your goals down, it just becomes a wish. Because there's power in writing your goals down. And he named it a certain name. But you know what? I also heard Kevin Tredone say this. Also heard Bob Proctor say this. Also heard Jim Rohn say this. And Peach McIntyre, who is a successful content creator, I heard her say she write her goals down. And so what you think I started doing? I started writing my goals down each and every day. And it's almost like night and day that I see the growth on my TikTok, on my Facebook, and on YouTube. If you don't change your self-image, see, I started saying, I deserve this. So I'm going to do different. And yes, I was listening to the audio for 6.5 years, okay, the personal development. But I still had this certain self-image of myself. And so sometimes things may be taken away from you. And it may seem like a loss, but I'm here to tell you it is really not. Because I remember the day when my car, it went out, gone. And how I felt like, oh my goodness. You know, sometimes you ask for certain things and the universe is going to give them to you. But don't think that it is a punishment. Remember, everything in your life is working for the betterment of you. And I remember I had eggs. I was in a bed, and I could remember this vividly. I was in a bed and I was watching something on Netflix. It was like this school. I don't remember the name of the series, but it was a school with these kids and they had superpowers, right? And a lady who ran the school, the dean or whatever, she was like this witch. And I like stuff like that. And so I was watching this. And I had like some male cramps. Okay, it was that time of my moon cycle. And I just did not want to go do Uber. I did not want to go do Uber. It was raining and I was like, oh my goodness, why? Because it's self-image. Because I felt like that was the only way. Yeah, I'm doing social media. Yeah, I'm a content creator, but I was putting all my energy into that. See, if you chase money, it's going to run further from you. If you chase that relationship, it's going to run further from you. And so I got up, felt like I had to go do it. Although I could have quit at any given time. And so I remember I got a few rides and I winded up probably 45 minutes away from my house. I had went and grabbed some Wendy's, okay? I was like, you know what? Let me get some goddamn food, okay? Went and grabbed some Wendy's and I was on my way back home. And my car, as I was getting close to my house, my car started going backwards. And I said, what the hell is this? And I didn't know what to do. And then I turned the car off and I asked this guy, it was a guy I think on the side of me. I explained to him what was going on. He said, you want us to push you and you could park over there, whatever. And I did it. And so sometimes your self-image has to be interrupted. If you have a self-image that you have to work so hard, or that money is scarce, you may be chasing after money so hard, and it's just running further and further away from you. Or if you have a self-image that you're not smart enough, you're not capable, you're not going to do certain things that'll get you to the next level. Because why? Because you already spoke yourself out of it before you got started. You hear the chatter. You're not good enough. What makes you think that you can do this? This is just who you are. pretty much you feel like you've been sentenced to this life. But I'm here to tell you, you have not been. You can move at any given time. At any given time. Hey, Anna, peace to you, baby. Peace to you, peace to you. And so when I tell you guys about the things that I am doing, writing the goals down, reading the books, Psycho-Cybernetics. Highly recommend you get it. It's funny, I was walking today and I was listening to Bob Proctor like I do every morning. And Bob Proctor talked about Psycho-Cybernetics again. You know, the videos, he talk about the paradigm shift, okay? And one of the things it says is this: get a new mental picture. Oh, I appreciate it. But the truth of the matter, Anna, you have it within you, my love. All of it is within. Just have to get back to it. Trust in your higher self, because your higher self is never going to let you down. It says, practice exercise. Get a new mental picture of yourself. The unhappy failure type personality cannot develop a new self-image by pure willpower or by deciding to. There must be some ground, some justification, some reason for deciding that the old picture of the self is in error and that a new picture is appropriate. You cannot merely imagine a new self-image unless you feel that it is based on truth. Experience have shown that when a person does change his self-image, he has the feeling that for one reason or another, he sees or realizes the truth about himself. The truth in this chapter can set you free of an old inadequate self-image. If you read it often, think intently about the implications and hammer home its truths to yourself. Science has now confirmed that what philosophers, mystics, and other intuitive people have long declared. Every human being has been literally engineered for success by his creator. Every human being has access to a power greater than himself. This means you. As Emerson said, there are no great and no small. You were engineered for success and happiness. Then the old picture of yourself as unworthy of happiness, a person who was meant to feel, it must be an error. And it goes on and says, read this chapter 3 times a week for 21 days. To the people that's out there, okay, that says, you ain't got time to do this. You ain't got time to read. Oh, I ain't got time for that. You know, it sound good, but shit, I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time to order that darn book. I gotta buy me some damn cigarettes. I ain't got time to, to listen to no darn personal development all damn day. You know why you say that? That's not even you speaking. That's the program speaking. That's the ego speaking. See, the ego don't want to die. And by every time somebody tell you something that may change your life, okay, you keep saying you ain't got time for it. I remember my mentor, Bob Proctor, said this. He said when he first worked with someone, he'd tell them exactly what to do. And he said if they don't listen to him, he said he fired them. He just stopped coaching them. And they can't get a refund. He said because if you want to waste your time, that's your time. But God damn it, you ain't gonna waste mine. And so you can always tell the ones that's willing, the ones that really want their lives to change. I told you guys to get a notebook. I still wonder how many of you guys went out and got a damn notebook. See, you can't ask for something if you're not willing to do it. You can't say, oh, well, I want a better life, but you still showing up the same exact way. That's not how this here thing works. And whether you believe in it or not, that is irrelevant. The truth of the matter is there's laws in this damn universe. And if your life isn't going in a direction that you wanted to go in, most likely you are going against the laws of this here universe. If you focus on poverty, I guarantee you, the more it will show up in your life. If you focus on prosperity, the more it shall show up in your life. It's all according to what you focus on. And your self-image is the biggest place to start. If you think that you deserve the life that you are living, you're going to keep on doing the same exact thing. But when you start looking in the mirror and connecting to your true self, your higher self, and you start speaking to yourself in a sense where as though you know what they have told you, it has been lies. It has been their programming. But you have the ability to change it. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to show up? Are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to do something so different that people start questioning your sanity? Are you willing to go against the norm? Are you willing to go against your damn family? Are you willing? And that's what you need to ask yourself. Are you willing? Are you willing to move to a different town, a different neighborhood? Are you willing to speak your truth no matter what? Are you willing? Are you willing to go get the damn book from Dollar Below or whatever it is, Dollar Tree? Are you willing to do something different? To do something in a sense where as though you know if you do different, you will have different. That's the question you need to ask your damn self. Am I willing? And you know how you will know if you're willing? If you go get the book. If you go do something different. If you speak up for yourself. Even if your voice is shaking. If you listen to the personal development. Are you willing? That's what you have to ask yourself. Are you willing to change your self-image? Because let me tell you something, okay? No one's coming to save you. Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but some people need a goddamn reality check. Ain't nobody coming to save you. So if you waiting for it to come, I am here to tell you it's not coming. Okay, why would it come? Okay, when your higher self know how powerful you are, when it knows how brilliant you are, when it knows that you have the ability to change your goddamn life, why would it come? Because the truth of the matter is you don't need no goddamn saving. You don't need saving. You need to connect to your higher self and start understanding, damn, I was capable all along. I just needed to get rid of this goddamn program. And you don't do it all at one time. It don't happen magically overnight. But I guarantee you, as you start doing different, I guarantee you, you will receive different. Because there's universal law. And let me tell you something, the exciting thing about universal law, it wasn't designed by man. So man can't change it. It is what it is. If you do different, you shall receive different. If you keep showing up the same with the poor self-image, you're going to constantly get the same. If you have a scarcity mindset when it comes to money, oh, I got to hoard all my coins or whatever, you shall get the same. You shall get exactly what it is. Because you feel as though that this is the only way. When there's another way. There's a better way. Seek within. Until next time, I love you guys.